Well, welcome all. We'll see who stops in here tonight. And tonight's going to be our live stream is urgent times. So, what's going on in the world? What's going on with our gardening? And are on our homesteads here to help us to get ready. Wait a few minutes and see who pops in. Glad to see everyone. Should be a pretty fun topic. See what's going on in the chat. Hey Sybil, how's it going? This is going to be right up your alley tonight because we're going to be talking about homesteading and times that are at large here, and to make sure everybody's ready. Stuff that's going on in Syria. Been kind of crazy news in the news lately. Hey Daniel, good to see you. We're going to see if some more people pop in here, but we're going to be talking about the old homestead. Hey Farm Boy, how's it going? And our times that we live in, and how's everybody's garden going? Hope everybody's having a good year. Hey Justin, how's it going? So yeah, we're having a phenomenal year for the garden and the way the everything is going. And this kind of a topic, it can be touchy. So, how's the audio, Justin? Sound pretty good? No back feed, Wolfen. Give me a thumbs up there, Justin, if it sounds good. So what we're going to talk about tonight is, I think we all are a little bit of prepping and stuff like that. And tonight I want to get the concept of about a renewable prep. And that's going to be more of the gardening and reusable things in your area. And if there's some people that are going to be talking about tonight about how I don't have that kind of area, or I don't have any room to do that. Well, we have boxes. We got a lot of things that we can do differently. We don't need the big homesteads. Yes, granted, they're nice because it puts us in a different ballpark, but we still can also do the things on a smaller scale. Thanks, bud. So we have Sybil in here, which is she is really knowledgeable on this kind of stuff also. And hey Jordan, good morning. So I hope everybody's having a good summer, and your gardens are doing well. And I'm going to load up some videos here just so that we can see some of the stuff, because pretty much the size of this stuff is just amazing, and I'm hoping that everybody is having the same outlook and the same process on theirs. I've got corn right now that's probably 7 or 8 feet. It's just amazing how this stuff has been going on and growing. And so if we look at a prepping aspect, and we all have that same knowledge is you put long-term food storage away. What I want to look at tonight is what about renewable? As far as I mean with renewable is your garden stuff and your heirloom seeds and stuff that you can constantly have. Your food will go, your long-term food storage will be there, but sometimes you're going to run out. So what can we do to change that? My videos aren't wanting to pop up here and play. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. We'll give a guys, well, we'll start here in about another 4 minutes. If you guys don't know anybody that's in the room, new to them, please check them out. If you like what you see, give them a little love. So, like, especially for me up here, the cold weather, we're putting away with the meat birds and we're doing the garden and we're doing a lot of other stuff. Exactly, Daniel. That's what I'm talking about. Is there's a reason why God is doing what He's doing. He's taking care of His children. He's giving them the food supply and the things that they need, and that's kind of what we're talking. I was talking to a couple of friends today about that. It's just amazing how our garden is just blown right up, and I've never seen anything like it. The stuff is huge, and it could be it could be the weather, like some people say, well, it's just the weather, or it's the rain, or this and that. Well, this has been the driest season I think I've had in probably 5 years. So that isn't it. And that's what we're running, is we're doing the permaculture, doing the back to Eden method. And it's turning out, it's amazing. We're pulling out cauliflower that's over the size of a basketball. And our beans are ready to pick. I went and checked them yesterday, and they're already, which would be today. In a couple minutes, it'll be tomorrow. We're going to go finish the rest, but I can't believe my beans are ready to pick already. And peppers and all the different stuff. So it's just loaded with food and vegetables. And that's kind of what I'm looking at, is for renewable. As I'm walking around my property, I'm looking at the apple trees and I'm looking at the berries and I'm looking at everything that we have. And it's all renewable because it's going to come back next year and it'll come back the following year and the following year. And we can have a very good source, but there's other things out there that I'm looking at, and one of the things are right behind me. As I'm worried about myself, I also need to be worrying about my birds and my other animals, and if I want to get stuff for them, so I have to make sure that I not only have enough food and resources for me, but I also have to worry about my animals that are on my land. Obviously, some of them are meat birds, some of them are egg layers. But if I'd have a cow next year, I got to make sure that I got food for him. So when we do our prepping and we do our preparedness and stuff like that, even on the homestead, we have to make sure that we're also set up for our animals that are here. If it's a dog, a cat, chickens, cows, pigs, we have to make sure that we have their food. And yeah, I can use some of my garden scraps, and that's what I do, is feed a lot of that stuff, so that helps out tremendously too. Yeah, absolutely, Justin. It's crazy. Yeah, Justin's been out here. He's seen it himself, and it just blows my mind how much stuff is here and how blessed we are. But them are the things that, if now is the time, if you want to get some apple trees put in, um, looking at the berries, the blueberries, the raspberries. Um, they call them gooseberries around here, currants. These are all beneficial because not only they're full of antioxidants and they're full of vitamins and all the other stuff that they're good for. Wild edibles is another big thing that we really need to think about. See, Jordan, there's other things too. Is you can do. I mean, if you got a walkway, you can put pots up and put the beneficial like peppers, red peppers, stuff like that. You can do that in pots. And like Justin just said, you have a patio. There's ways around everything. We can look in every corner for that. And some of the other things. See, you look at Sybil there. She's already got 500 pounds of dog food. I think you're. Well, the other thing too, Sybil, is sometimes we feed our chickens dog food because of the high protein content. So if you ever get chickens back, you'll have a good supply of chicken food. And that's the thing is we just got to look at everything that we have and we have, for ideas that we can use. Yeah, hydroponic system, yep, if you're in a warm environment would be an awesome way too. But now you guys, you got you guys thinking. And that's what I like to see is people actually using it, thinking outside that box. I know some people aren't able to have acres to live on and stuff like that, so it makes them a bit harder. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss tonight. Because the other thing that's coming up is canning season, and we can put a lot of stuff away and store them, and with goals of being 2 to 3 years out for putting away of canning, and then we can rotate in and out. So there you go, Sybil. Yeah, I don't have that much. And that's the other thing is, oats and stuff that you can do to make flour. Uh, Anything like that is a big plus. I was showing locked and loaded there the other day to find it. We're out here and we're looking at wild oats because one of my fields is just full of it. Those are the things that I'm saying about looking outside the box because I can actually dry that. I can feed that to my birds also if I had to. Because when they're all said and done, each one of them birds you're going to get 4.5 to 3 to 4, or let's say 3.5 to 5, depending on the size and how long you let them live, of meat. Yep, wild wheat everywhere. So those are just some of the ideas that you guys, you still got to start thinking outside the box. With what's going on in the world today, and with Israel and everything like that. I don't want to put any fear in somebody's mind, but we really have to be looking into the future for ourselves. And a lot of us that are on here, with the prepping and stuff, been doing this for a long time, and we're sitting back and getting comfortable. What about our neighbors, or our friends, or our loved ones that said that we were nuts? There's that. Yep, Jordan, exactly. There's too many tensions, and all it takes is one person that's trigger happy, and that tension is all over. There you go, Daniel. Exactly. And that's what I mean is you use your in this chat room is just use this knowledge that's in here is going to help out everybody. Exactly, Sybil. You always got to keep your head on a swivel. You're not going to get comfortable because at some point in time, something can roll down and it can be really, really, really unpleasant. Yeah, it's not fear, it's truth. It's already been written. Amen, brother. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about most of the night tonight is what can we do to change and to make things better for ourselves, and what kind of ideas can we use. One of the things too is with the chemtrails, if they get any worse, and we're going to have that's a whole different can of worms. The EMP, are people ready to run without electricity? If you're living out in the country, do you have a point? Do you have water storage? Some of those things that you might not think of. You sit around, I got water in the basement. There you go, Sybil. Excellent. Been working on bugging out with handicapping. If you're living in town and it gets a disaster or there's martial law, there's civil unrest, any of those things, that place is demolished. And I'll try to take a handicapped person through a demolished area where there's fire, there's cars turned over, any of those things. That by itself is a handful. Towns are not going to be a nice place. Yep, Jordan, if bushcraft is your friend, if you guys want to check anything out, go into my very first videos. I started my YouTube channel originally as a bushcrafter, so there's a lot of valuable skills from starting fire, from a wet environment, making shelters, all that kind of stuff, and it all. Yes, well, I won't be catching me either. The other thing that we want to talk about, you just see there that Locked and Loaded said about the internet. Last 2 nights, exactly at midnight, my internet has gone down. And living in Wisconsin, Locked and Loaded is also in Wisconsin. His internet also went down. There's an article that somebody took out Amazon's internet for 9 hours and cost them millions of dollars. So somebody's playing around. And that's a huge sign of something's coming. Somebody mentioned too, I heard in the news that they want to totally disable the internet before the midterm elections. So are we? Yeah, Daniel, it's the Russians. It's somebody's playing around with it, and I don't know who's doing it. I'm not liking it. I know I blamed my satellite company the first day, but after the second day I kind of learned they just came and redid everything. I knew it wasn't them. But these are the things that, you guys tonight are coming up with some really good advice for other people, especially if you open, somebody of the newbies are going to come in here and learn something. And get a better understanding of this stuff, because there's some people that are seasoned in here and have good ideas. So another good thing too is if you guys don't have them already, go check out the Peterson hand guides for wild edibles, medicinal plants. Learn those in your area. That's a great resource to have. I think Sybil has, so she's had to go through some hard times with the hurricanes and stuff where she lives, and she's been not only practicing but doing it for a long time. That's very, very, very good possibility there, Jordan. There's gonna be a lot of stuff flying around. There's gonna be a lot of pointing fingers. But like Justin said there in the beginning, that's something that I have not done in a long time. Is cactus. Living when I lived as a kid out in Arizona, I had all that stuff out there. But now here we don't have anything like that. That's like in the southern states, you have a lot of citrus trees and you have a lot of the other stuff that you have at your fingertips. Up here, once November hits, everything turns gray. And now we're getting ready for wintertime, so for us it's really important to put stuff away. See if we get some and as the winter rolls around and we learn more and more about what's going on. November's midterm elections, and then you're already talking snow and all the other stuff. It could get pretty hairy pretty quick. And some of us ain't even in areas where we can actually do that kind of stuff. That's what makes it even worse. That's one thing, Sybil, that I didn't like about okra is that when you cook it, it gets slimy. So that'd be kind of neat to have. Seeing if I can get some more like-minded people in here to have the discussion. So, Sybil, can you harvest them cactus whenever you want, or is there a certain season that you have to take that? Absolutely, Daniel. It's getting worse and worse. Christians are getting hammered on everything, pointing fingers, and that's the Civil War. I think is going to be over good and evil. Another good one too, guys. If you're in the winter time or in the fall here, it's a really good idea to if you got dandelions in your area, harvest the root. You can make dandelion tea. You can make tinctures. It's a good detox. There's a lot of things that you can do to help you out. Anything that's medicinal in your area, and you can dehydrate them, dry them out, whatever means necessary. Because, like everybody knows with this internet thing, might come tomorrow when you go to load up and you go on your computer or you go onto your iPhone or any of the other stuff and you click the start button, nothing's gonna happen. And that's when the chaos and everything's gonna start kicking in. We need to be ready. I was hoping some of this garden stuff would work, but I had some garden picks that I had set up here. See if I can load them up. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Sybil. Virginia, glad you joined us. You know, like us too, one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is if you got cattails around you, and those are another ones that they're high in starch. There's other good things you can do with those also. See if I can find that. See if I can pull up a video here. Change the chip on. Absolutely, Sybil. That's very good point. Is that we really need to be looking at everything we can do. Yep, someone's behind me. So now we're gonna go play in the garden. Later on too, guys, this is just raw footage. Right there is one of the sunflowers from organic sunflower seed from last year, and there's another good protein. And that's what we really need to be looking at. But right here behind me now are the bell peppers and jalapenos and stuff like that. You got to remember too that the pepper, as it changes its color, is when you're going to get your vitamins and minerals. And if you can get down to the third picking, that's where the bonus is, because I mean, look at the size of those peppers already. Hey Sue, glad you could join us. I mean, as you can see, them pepper plants are just about up to my knees already, and I'm 6'5". But like I said, the full version of this will be up here shortly. We found out today that our beans just blew up, so. Artichoke, hey, there's a good idea. Well, now you're here, Sue, so that's all that matters. We've been talking tonight about um, different ways of prepping is like a renewable resource, and the homestead, it makes things a lot easier. But let's like Civil's dealing with the handicap and stuff like that, and Jordan there doesn't, he lives in an apartment, you know. So we've been talking about potted plants, you know, building different things so that we can still have what we need. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, it's been a oh yeah, I didn't do that. Thanks for reminding me, Sybil. But maybe that's why I'm so far behind everybody there. See, there's another good idea right there. Is in totes, you got the depth that you need for the dirt. That's an awesome idea. And you know, guys, it's been talked about in times in the Bible. You know, it's already been written, so we really need to be listening and paying attention. Because he said, "Don't be ignorant, brother," and that means we're not supposed to be ignorant. We can do this and be right upon it. So it's not a bad thing. You're not, you know, we're not putting our faith in a substance. We're doing what we're told. Now these are nasturtiums and they're edible, and they're a little bit like black pepper. They're really delicious. You just got to watch out for the bugs. But also ladybugs are a good thing. The true ladybugs, not the Asian beetle. There you go, Jordan. You see what Sybil just said? Using little kiddie pools to grow a garden also. Another good way. That's what I did this year too, Sybil. I use a pool for a water source. So I got 3,800 gallons behind the house. Yeah, them Asian beetles, they bite and they stink. Hike with Mike, welcome aboard. Yeah, so see there, Jordan asked us, so what you would need to do, Jordan, is go in some of my earlier videos, my very first ones. I show how to build bushcraft camps, and then get yourself some heirloom seeds, and you know, it'll get you out of town and get you, you know, caches are a good way if you know some land around you that is kind of no man's land that no one goes to. Those are all good places to go and pick up a squat. It didn't like that Florida taste there, Locke. And this is the first year we're actually growing our cucumbers and our melons and everything on strings and letting them go up. But they're just going nuts. You just can't build a bushcraft camp. You need to own land to do that. Oh, you got no public land out there, Jordan? That's absolutely true, Sue. Everything seems to do a lot better growing up, and some of the tricks that I learned this year is, keeping the air moving from underneath the plant helps to keep away the, dry rot. Crystal Gypsy, glad you could join us. And with the tomatoes, it has made a big difference. Same thing with the cucumbers. Hey, Kim, glad you can make it. So we're just talking today about helping each other out here as times are getting worse in the world. Some of us that do prep, where we're looking at reusable things. And one of the biggest things is gardening and a homestead or something like that. But these are all non-GMO heirloom seeds. So everything that I take out of this garden, I can take the seeds out next year and use them. And that's kind of what you want to look for, is the best, as you plant your seeds and use them, or use the vegetables, keep some for yourself, and you can reseed, and you've got an endless supply. And if you go back into earlier, hey Wrenches, how's it going? Good to see you. I think Merle's in, probably looking behind the eyelids, but he should be, hey Brooke. I think that as we look through this and we start looking at what the Bible says and how we can use our knowledge that God gave us and put it to use. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Sybil. What do you think about the renewable resources versus, the stored food? Like, Mike, actually, the marigolds that you see in front of me now, and I put out nasturtiums, and I use what is called neem oil, and I spray, if I have to, I spray with that, and I've not had a problem with bugs, but I also have a lot of chickens running around too, so that helps to take out a lot. Yeah, so neem oil is an excellent source. It's organic and it's natural. Mix it with water. It's a really good way to do things. And guys, if you haven't seen any of these people or they seem new to you, go check out their channel. And if you like what you see, give them a sub. Leave a comment on their videos. A lot of good people in here tonight. Yeah, you told me that last time, and I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, I always look for the threes there, Daniel. Everything in threes. Yeah, Hike with Mike, you can go on Amazon and you can check it out. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but it's a concentrated, so it does last a while. You're gonna start a channel there, Locked, huh? Yeah, you always have your even the service, you've got your primary, your secondary, and your tertiary. There's a reason why they say that. Everything comes better in threes. And here in the greenhouse we have some of the exotic pepper plants like ghost peppers, reapers, and everything else. And there's a reason that I grow the real hot stuff, is that if it would be needed, I can make my own pepper spray. Hey, let us know. Well, if you haven't heard the news, And what's going on in the States last night and the night before, exactly at midnight here in Wisconsin, they shut down the internet. And the story is that they want to be totally dead by midterm election. So one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight and what we've been talking about is renewable resources, as far as gardening, homesteading, and getting yourself in order. If it's getting yourself in order with God, if it's getting yourself in order with water, whatever means necessary. Times are coming, if you listen to about what's going on with Israel and overseas. They gave an ultimatum. He's just pulling your leg there, Sybil. He's got a channel. Being a hot dog. Hey, Terry. Yeah, let us know. I'm good. Not dying. Still standing straight. Working my butt off. But tonight we're going to be talking about getting, things in order. And, as far as the gardening, we had some tips in here earlier about the totes, swimming pools, anything that you can grow a garden. Ezekiel 38, 39, exactly, Brooke. And then you can go and roll into Revelation, you can go into Daniel's, and, it's all been spoken of. So we can actually do, God gave us a brain for a reason. And not to put our faith in substances, but he was, we're supposed to be smart. We're supposed to be thinking about things. And there's a story in the Bible about the guy that fills his house, or it's not his house, his barn and the silos. The ant that puts away food and the cricket that comes and steals it. There's all those things. Yeah, Terry, it's been growing like mad, and that's another reason is that Daniel is saying the same thing this year. His is going just ballistic. Everything is just growing phenomenal, and this has been the driest season in years. Yeah, Chris. So you can talk about news. Problem is if you're on the far side of the other, Christians are getting they're getting pushed off to the side. They're getting beat up. They're getting looked at as I don't want to say terrorists, but right-wing groups. You can look at so many different ways about this, but the one thing is common sense goes a long way. I know one thing, my weeds are taking over everything, and that thing right there, if I can pause that, that's purslane. And that's an edible it's a edible, and it's also medicinal. It gives you energy. There's people that I work with that actually ask for that personally because the benefits from it. And I'll be talking about that more, like I said, once I get this thing up and edited. Okay, so Brooke had a dream in her months ago. I heard the word Gog at the time, and I didn't read the Bible much, but I heard the word Gog 3 times and decided to Google it, and I saw the verses 38 and 39. Yeah, Magog, Gog and Magog. Yeah, Terry, it's really good. Locked, is my mic off or something that she can't hear me? I don't have the audio on the video. So, and the tassels are really nice. Now the thing that you got to look at too, guys, is that corn technically is a grass. We'll look it up. It's pretty interesting.
How do we know it's...
So yeah, if you've been watching the news, seeing what's been going on, there's a lot of stuff. And yeah, Brooke, that's a good Bible. That's a good book to read. And the more that you get involved in the Bible, the more understanding that He gives you, and the more things that He gives you. It's a very interesting concept of the whole thing. Locked all after I get done with my video here, I'll go over there and give you a sub. You know, and there's a lot of people in here that are wondering, and you know, in that time of need, they're gonna get nervous, they're gonna get scared, and we need to be able to help them. Some people are not going to be wanting. You're going to have looters too. You know, we have to also be careful of that, because some people are going to see what other people, especially if you're living in town. I mean, granted, right now would be a great time if you could just get out and get in the country somewhere. But some people don't have that ability. And like I said, last night at midnight, so we got 45 minutes, and we'll see if it happens again. If it does 3 times, we all know what it means in threes. So if I drop off of here at 12 o'clock, you know exactly why. The other thing too, guys, if you guys can, give me a thumbs up. Helps the channel out. Exactly, Daniel. I got rid of my TV about, I want to say, probably, well, since about 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago. And you know, everything in the news right now is just a distraction. So, hey, Barson Farms, good you could join us. Yeah, don't take the mark of the beast. Very good. Yeah, so I lost mine. Justin lost his. My work lost theirs. And a couple guys that live around the area lost theirs last night. I was asking people from work. So anywhere from probably 100-mile radius around us, and they all got different internet providers. So very, very strange. We're doing great, Rinson. How's everything over there? So let's see here. So the other thing I'm going to be doing here is, hey buddy, there he is. I figured you'd find us. Welcome aboard, D. So one of the things too that I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be off for a little while. We got harvest coming in with the beans in the garden punching, so I'm going to be working eggs. So, but I'm going to be pushing my videos out and trying to get some more footage of the stuff. But I want to get into some more of the canning and stuff like that, and looking at pressure canning. So. Okay, my internet was out till I don't know. I think I went to bed probably about 1:30, and it still wasn't on yet. Makes you wonder. And there was that big thing about Amazon losing their internet in over 2 hours for locked and loaded. So Amazon lost theirs last week that cost them millions of dollars. Somebody's playing around or something's going on, because this is the second night in a row. It happened on Tuesday night. It happened exactly at midnight. Last night it happened exactly at midnight. Yeah, so poor Amazon. You start taking the bottom dollar away, people start getting upset. I just saw that video there, Branson. That's a blackberry. We made actually this year. This started all off. We made a dandelion jelly, and then we went to the rhubarb jelly, and then obviously the strawberry jelly. And what'll be coming up next year will be apple, and I want to do some jalapeno jelly. We're doing good, buddy. How about you? Hanging in there? D? But if you haven't ever tried dandelion jelly, it's well worth it. It's like tasting honey. Thanks for stopping by, Crystal. Take care, Daniel. Good to see you. Glad you stopped by. Yeah, so I think everybody and back in the old days, they used to make dandelion wine, rhubarb wine, blackberry wine. Yeah. You know, if you take out the internet and you take out, that's in the States, that's everybody's communication. A lot of people wouldn't know what to do. Yeah, Brent, you have to try it out. The jelly is phenomenal. In the fall, you can do the root, and you can do the dandelion root tea, which is an awesome detox. So there's a lot of things that dandelion is good for. Take care, Kim, and I hope everything goes well, and I will be keeping you in my prayers. Hope everything goes well. Leave me a message, let me know. Okay, good. Glad you can hear us. Let us know. Me too, Sybil. Back in the day, we didn't have internet either. It was that old fancy dial-up. And let me tell you, you could go and make a dinner before you were hooked up to the internet, so a lot of people didn't use it. The old way was to pick up the telephone, write a note, or go down to the neighbor's house and talk to him. Well, Dee, the topic is about what's going on over in overseas. The internet that's been going out here for crazy reasons. And, I'm thinking, came on my mind about renewable resources as far as the prepping and using, instead of using long-term storage foods, use renewable foods. And, the gardening, the homestead, put stuff in place that's you can use year after year. Sybil says we didn't have computers. Well, back then, Sybil, I remember when I saw that you had the first. I can't remember the first computer. There's Sandy K. Look at that, Justin. We woke her up. We should raise some honing pigeons. There we go. Like the other thing too is horse and donkey. What if something would happen like an EMP and the vehicles go down? The only way you're going to actually get anything running is a diesel, or if it has points in it. Most of them vehicles are gone. So what's the means of transportation? It's either a bike, pedal bike, horse, mule. Did you, Branson? The best thing that I've been using is marigolds and asternums, and I have not had any pests at all. I found out today that the way back by my corn, we got the green beans going, and the mice are starting to steal the green beans. But I have not had any problems, and I've got gray squirrels all over the place. They're up in the walnut trees. There's another good one too, guys. Is black walnuts. Exactly, Sybil. And up here, anything that's any decent from 1978 has been rusted or right out because of the snow and the salt and what they do. Yeah, I got Branson. I got them all over the garden. I planted over 100 of them, and they're because last year the pests just ate everything in our garden, and this year it's been great. I haven't had anything. The other thing to do is actually you're supposed to trim the first foot of your tomato plant up. So, but with a squirrel, that's a little bit, they can still get at them. Absolutely, DE. God has a big part of it. He taught us. I, hey, Sandy, I said hi. I saw you sneak in. Yeah, Branson, the one thing that I do is when I start my seeds, and I usually put up about 100 to 150 marigolds because they do. The other trick too is hair was a good one. And then an old guy told me one time to urinate along the garden, leaving your scent that would chase them away. Hey, the anointed one, how's it going? Glad you could join us. I never heard about the Christmas bulbs there, let it snow. That's a good idea, but I got mine all fenced in, so my chickens can't get in there. But there's a lot of things that we, those hair was one to keep them out. Um, the nasturtiums help. Marigolds help. There you go, Branch. That's a good idea. That's what I tell mine to do. Go along the field. Yeah, that would probably be kind of funny. Dogs, that's another good one. What else? Last night we had a fox that I had to go sit out and watch for because I thought he was going to get into in the chicken yard. Thanks for stopping by, Jordan. You take care. God bless. I hope everything is well over there. And we'll talk to you later. Somebody, yeah, the 91. Somebody told me that ivory soap, you have to get the original ivory soap. And that was a good deterrent. And I cannot find that around here. See if I can pull up some more stuff. But when we're looking at things here towards the end, and if something would bad or something bad would happen, here's another instance that just kind of has been mind-boggling here. For the last, I want to say, 2 months or so, these have been flying around our area. So you guys look up here. There's been 2 fighter jets that have been flying past the house overhead, and when these guys came through here, it was shaking the windows on the
way
house.
up there somewhere.
For most people that live in a city or somewhere, but there's nothing around for hundreds of miles.
And they're gone.
Too loud. Yeah, that was strange too in itself, why fighter jets would be up this far north. That's a good idea. Sybil using onions. The bags. I got some of them old bags somewhere because we freeze most of our onions for the winter time, or I'll dehydrate them and put them up so that we can use them later on. Yeah, you should have been here when it was going over the house, so you want to talk about loud. It's crazy. Make sure you're awake. You know, it's after almost midnight there, Justin. I know that you had to get your beauty sleep. Yep, and we actually this year we put up 2 quince trees, which is a Russian style of a lemon. She's good. She's sleeping. She just recently found out that when her mellow moon was a moonshine, so she changed her name to Moon Phase 5. So if you see that pop up, that's her. Yeah, back in the day, Sybil, there was a lot of people. That's what we did too, living on a farm. Everything was reused, and we always looked for um, multiple, sources for it. With one of the things like I do is if I'm weeding, it goes into the compost pile. The chickens dig through it to feed the birds. All my vegetables the stuff that we cut off or that we don't use, it goes into the chickens. They turn it into compost. That's exactly right. The older generation knows exactly how it was done. I was blessed to have my grandpa teach me some of my gardening skills, and now he's gone. Did you ever try garlic there, Sue, for your blood pressure? I know it's supposed to help with blood pressure, clean out the arteries, lower your cholesterol, all that good stuff. So the other thing too is around here in Wisconsin, they're finding out all the water sources are contaminated by high nitrates from all the farming going on. So that was kind of an odd thing. Here's a good idea: videotape it and record it. Cool, Sue. Yep. I got to do that pretty quick too. That's the thing is now it's go time and it's all about putting stuff away. So, well, Sandy, your windows are shaking. What are you doing over there? She must have been yelling at Justin. So, well, you got to videotape that because that'd be cool. Building a greenhouse. So what are you gonna do? Put strings through the center and on the bottom and make walls out of that? That would be cool. I work around here for double insulated. Yeah, that'd be good because the air in the bottle is actually an insulation barrier, so that's going to help out nicely. Take care, brother, and be good. Give me a call tomorrow. I'll be probably jumping off here at about midnight anyway. I gotta get up early and do chores and then start picking beans. Did you hear that, Sandy, too, that our internet's been dropping off at midnight for the last 2 days? Last night it kicked me out exactly at midnight, and then it also did at the night before. Really strange. Yeah, you can stay up. It's good for you. You used to stay up later than this all the time. So like I was saying in the beginning, I did glass bottles to make a wall way back when. Did not work well for me. Too much changing temp. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about here with me. But Sandy, we were talking about before about these times with the Israel and what's going on over there, and they gave an ultimatum and the internet testing going on, and then Amazon lost the internet for 9 hours and lost millions of dollars, and there's been threats made that they want to totally shut down the internet before midterm in November. So, like Sybil said, back in the old days, people used to walk and talk. You know, you'd go down to your neighbors and say hi, or you write a letter. Nowadays, everything is done through the internet. So if they would actually take out the internet for us, it would put this whole country in total chaos. It's kind of funny because this is the first time since the flip phone that I got a smartphone. Otherwise, I refuse to get one. Finally had to break down and do it though. So Miss Sandy, you weren't here so the last 15 minutes. Everybody saw this before. Yeah, people don't talk, they text. Now with these big old sausages, when I hit the screen, five letters come up. Yeah, I'm gonna Terry. I'm at work at that time. Otherwise, I would. He was talking to me the other night about that, but it's right when I'm at work. Absolutely. Let us know. It's good because it's good to get back to writing letters. Yeah, Sybil, it's some people can, by the time I get one message sent, they got five, so I'm not a really good texter either. But what's cool with this phone, Sybil, is that You can hit a button on there and it's got a mic and you can talk and it'll send the text. That's cool for me, but half the time it spells everything wrong. Hey, all around, how's it going? Hey, let us know, do you have a cell phone? Because you can text her too now. Who's behind me? That's me there, Sandy K. Your alligator mouth. That's funny. I'm sure you get used to it. You can just set it. Mine said calibrate when I was talking, so it could pick up my voice and how I talk. So it does all right. Well, we got what, almost 10 minutes to go. We'll see if this thing boots me off at midnight again. So like I was saying, guys, if it does do that, it'll be something really funky going on. Hoping it doesn't, but we'll find out. Potatoes. All around, those are actually all my pepper plants. We live in a potato community, so it's really simple to go down to the neighbor's farm, and actually the field that's behind my property is potatoes, and when they change out lanes there, they usually dump about 5 pounds that you can just go and pick up as many potatoes as you want. Yeah, right behind me there, that's all potato field. That's what I got too. Well, I got 11:49 right now, Sandy. Yeah, Woods, they got them all over. Called the flats. I got to find out about the nasturtiums too, if they're not just edible, but they're also see if there are any medicinal properties in them. Because I'll tell you, they taste really good. And I got the Russian red kale and an anise growing right there. And then behind that I got the celery. Muskmelon. But that's what I'm looking at too, is what I was saying, Sandy, to everybody else, is that renewable resource. My garden is 60 feet wide by 360 feet long. One of them is, and then I have a what I call back to Eden garden, and that's got the raised beds and everything in that. And that one is, I think, 75 square total. And then in the pasture we have another patch of muskmelon and another row that's probably 50 feet long, maybe no, maybe about 25 feet long, of tomatoes. Thanks, Sue, that's good to know. And here I've been just eating them all the time. Yeah, all around that's about what mine is too. I had a good jump because I set up a grow room in one of my spare rooms and it using grow lights in the greenhouse. Yeah, there's Barnstorm. This used to be a deer farm, the property that I bought, so it was kind of nice to have the fencing was all up already. So the 2 acres that my chickens are in and my garden and everything like that is completely fenced in. Yeah, so you're up in Canada. We got just about 3 acres. We got the 2 acres that are each one of the um, fenced in areas. Each one's an acre, and then the house sits on 3/4 of an acre, and then you got that around the whole property. Yeah, that's kind of what I get. The fences that are behind me are, I think they're like 12 foot tall. So it really keeps all the critters out, and my chickens are fenced in on the other side of the garden there, and my egg layers, and then I've got some running around the yard. Yeah, that's what we did there all around. Is the main reason is to, and those there are the famous Carolina Reapers, the peppers, hottest pepper in the world. Yeah, Sandy, we got a lot of cabbage. We're gonna do a lot of kraut this year. Then I'll be making fermented cabbage. Cabbage is good all the way around. All around, we do a lot of canning. Um, Last year we did a lot of freezing. This year we're going to be doing a lot of canning and pressure canning. The idea is the threes come in. 1 year is good, 2 years better, 3 years is where you're at. So you got rotation. We're going to be making our own tomato soup, ketchup, pretty much anything that we can do with the tomatoes. That's why I put up so many tomatoes this year. I think I don't know how many plants of the different types of stuff. That's exactly what I did too, Sybil. All my, you check out them earlier videos. I actually, my office here was, I turned it into a grow room. I put some grow lights in here, and I had a lot of great sized plants there. Actually, these muskmelons that I'm digging in right now were started in house, and they were probably 3 feet when I put them outside. Put them in a greenhouse. Yeah, I started pruning them, and then we had a couple rainstorms in here, and then they just went nuts. And then I'm like, well, now I don't want to waste any of the tomatoes because there's a lot of tomatoes on the bottom, but I've actually got them pruned up. They're actually like 7 inches off the ground. Yep, we got 3 minutes. We'll find out. And in the greenhouse, I got all my um, rare and exotic peppers. Besides, right there, I've got some early jalapenos that I planted late, and we've been picking off of them too. Well, glad to meet you, Chad. My name is Mark. Everybody just calls me Rolling. There you go, Sandy. There's some cabbage heads. And actually, those this year, the first time them pole beans, them are called rattlesnake. They're actually purple beans, so it's gonna be kind of neat to see those. That's what I do too, Snow and Sue. I'm on the garden. I'm eating all day long. It's like I always said, if you can't find something good to eat around here, you're not looking hard enough. And by the way, Sybil, them birds turned out to be, most of them were 3¼ to 4 pounds. So the people, and Sue, if you was wondering, the meat birds turned out they're 3¾ to 4 out of the first 11 that we butchered. Now we got another 20 that are in the pasture right now. And that was the other thing is I found out while I had them butchered is that in the store, if you buy chicken, 1 pound of chicken is equivalent to 1,000 pounds of beef in growth hormones. And that when they go bad, they soak them in bleach water to get the scum and the slime off the chicken meat, and then they rewrap them and put them back on the shelf. When I left the butcher, I almost became a vegetarian after he told me all the nasty stuff that they do with meats. Absolutely. That's why I got you there all around. I think I got you. Let me check to make sure. But I'm almost positive. Yep. I am sub to you. Yeah, my whole channel is about homesteading. So homesteading in the Lord, and in the beginning it was bushcraft and wild edibles. Yeah, I thought so, Sybil. That was 15 weeks. 3¾ was the smallest one, and a little bit over 4 was the heaviest one. So that was pretty good. And I got the last weekend I made my first meal ever that was totally off the homestead. So We made some teas from the plants around. We had chicken. We made a nice salad. The potatoes from last year, so everything was actually growing off the homestead. It was the first one this year. $12.01, we made it. Talk to you later, Sandy. We'll see you in the morning. God bless. Take care. Yeah, exactly. Chad, I heard some really nasty stories, and I was that's that's why I said I'm done. Same thing with vegetables. They had the equalized scare around, and the nutrients just isn't in the vegetables anymore at the store. So it had a time to make a difference. And by the way, guys, I'm just just tad over 6'5", and that corn's taller than me. Yeah, guys, if you see people in here that you have never known or seen before, go check them out. If you like what you see, give them a sub. They'll appreciate it. Yeah, we made it. We made it past midnight. Hee hee. Yeah, Terry, once you have the real food, it's really hard to go back. Just like going back to regular eggs. Like that's just nasty. No, Terry, that was Mellow Moon running the camera. There, now he's looking over my shoulder. Locke would be scared. But yeah, right behind me is my back to Eden garden, and then I got a whole row that runs the whole length of the property of apple trees and fruit trees. And this year we just put in 2 cherry trees, 2 peach trees, and 2 pear trees. We got 2 quince trees, a plum tree, 6 blueberries, 2 gooseberries. So I've been really pounding on putting the trees on the property this year. Yeah, that's something that my grandma told me too, Sybil, about that you don't need her because she was back then in the old days they were afraid of pressure canning because it kept blowing up, and she said she did all hers too with the water method. Night, Chad. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. Take care. God bless. Thanks for, and we'll see you again. So Sybil, is it true then in the old days too they used to tip the jars when they came out upside down? I remember my grandma telling me that too. Something about tipping the jar, or the jars upside down, and then in the morning they would flip them back over. Yes, yeah. I remember her doing that. I never knew why. Yeah, why do you do that, Sybil? Yep, Sue. That's why we helps to seal them. Okay. Yeah, so we always have really nice people in our chat rooms. We have good people. Yeah, I watched my grandma kept telling me that when I pull them on, I'd set them on the towel. She says you're supposed to flip them upside down and leave them sit overnight. The thing of it is when I'm canning, I'm usually doing 48 at a crack, so I got them on a kitchen table. Yeah, that's a good way to find out. Ah, okay, that's why. I figured there was a reason why they did it that way. Well, guys, I am going to get off here and get to bed. I got to get up for chores at 6 and feed my animals, and then I got to start picking beans. I was so happy that everybody came in here with some great advice. I want to thank everyone for sharing their wisdom, and thanks for everybody coming. Brance, thanks for comments. Good night. God bless to all. Be safe. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your head on a swivel. You guys all take care, and God bless.